Yeah, that's all we needed. Just 16 ounces.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has joined us. Dale was today's race runner-up. He drove the number 88 Diet Mountain Dew Kickstart Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. And Dale, you're right on the verge of getting your second win of the season. You know, we were talking out on pit road how the new championship format system allows you to go for broke pretty much like you guys did today.
It sure does. And that's a great point. I think everybody's seen that over the last couple of weeks, that this format has definitely allowed teams to gamble like we have. And, you know, it did pay off. Not the ultimate prize, but we did run second. We weren't going to, as much as you want to win, and believe me, we were out there trying to win, you do take pride in a good performance, a good finish. And we weren't going to run in the top 5 if we hadn't used that particular strategy. If we'd have run the same strategy as our competitors, we would have probably ran in just inside the top 10 where we were all day. So at least it felt like I was right. I was around 8th all day. I just couldn't get any ground, and we fought the car all day, and just the air is so dirty behind everybody. The further back you get, it's just you got less and less grip. And once we got the lead, it was like driving a Cadillac. So I was lifting real early, trying to save even more. We figured we were a lap short, and I was lifting early and let Brad get there. And I felt like if we were good enough to hold him off, then we'd win the race. If we weren't, we had saved enough fuel to finish the race. At least get to the end. I can't run out of. I can run out of gas on the back stretch and be okay. But if I ran out off of forward coming to the white, it'd been big trouble. So I had to save a little bit. So I let him catch us, and then once he got there, I ran as hard as I could and could pull back away from him. So I felt good about the car, and proud of Steve and the strategy that he used to give us a chance to win. We're gonna dearly miss that next year, and hopefully, we are learning what we need to learn in these last couple of years to continue calling races as well as he does. So, it's disappointing, but at the same time, the good Lord's blessed me with a good team and good fortune and great opportunity. So I don't want to get too down, and think about the positives and be productive so we can go to Bristol and try to win there.
Sounds good. Take questions now for Dale. We'll start with Jim Utter. Then we'll go over to Lewis.
Jim and our Charlotte Observer, just to be clear, do you think your team would have attempted that strategy at all 3 races into the season if not for the current chase format?
Absolutely not. I can say that without doubt.
Okay. And as a driver, even though you didn't win, did you find it? Did you find it entertaining? Did you find it interesting? Were you
interesting? Oh yeah. I mean, damn right. Leading the race the last 50 laps is a hell of a lot better than running 8th the last 50 laps. Shit. I mean, I was interested. Yeah.
So was about 100,000 people at it.
Right. Yeah. It's very exciting. I mean, and I think that the way the new format is, nothing's perfect, right? But it definitely is showing that it has tons of positives, and it's better as far as entertainment for our sport. So yeah, it gives us freedom, and that's nice, to have that freedom to do the things that we did today. Even though we knew our odds weren't good, we really, shouldn't have made it, and we didn't. But we got to try because of the new system. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
Go over here to Lewis, and then we'll go to Jeff.
Yeah, Lewis Frank Reuters and AutoWeek.com. Aside from the chase, this has been your hottest start since I can remember. But what does that do for your confidence and the team's confidence?
Yeah, I don't. We ran pretty good out of the gate last year. But yeah, this is a good start for sure. Yeah, the confidence is up there. When we first got together, we'd run our guts out to run in the top 15. Then the next year, we'd run our guts out to run in the top 10. And you wondered when you'd get up to the 5th and start running in the top 5 regularly. And we started doing that finally last year. And, so our team just keeps stepping up this ladder, and it just makes total sense to me how that process has went, having lived it and having seen the progression. So the sky's the limit for us. And if we are smart and keep our composure and don't get foolish and don't get too proud of ourselves, just keep it in perspective. We got a great opportunity this year to continue to be this competitive every week. So we were really strong at the end of the year last year. It thrilled me to death. So this is great. And you definitely don't want to take it for granted to get used to it, but this is what we envisioned and starting to bear some fruit.
Let's go here to Jeff and then to Mike Embry.
Jeff Gluck from USA Today. Dale, you're obviously pretty good friends with Brad. How much do you think it bothered him last year to miss the chase, especially the year after he won the championship, and people would say that, maybe it was kind of a fluke thing for him? I mean, do you think that aided him?
Yeah, I mean, he's competitive, loves to win, driven, very driven he studies his team, studies the sport, studies the cars, and him and his crew chief work really hard, and he overthinks everything, and he comes up with 20 ideas and 18 of them are crazy, but 2 of them are great. And that's the way he always was with us. Pops had to run him out of the shop because he's just nitpicking everything on the car. We could do this different. Why is that like that? Why don't we turn this way and do it like this? And he just, a lot of the stuff that, Top Pops would have to explain it to him, but hell, a couple ideas would be pretty good. And Brad does that with everything, and that's why he's successful. He's obviously a very talented driver, just raw talent. You don't learn that. You're kind of born with some of those things, some of those traits. But his work ethic, I think his dedication to his craft, and he thinks about it every day. I think that's that's why he's so successful. He's plugged in, real plugged into what he's doing.
Go ahead to Mike and then to Lee.
Mike Embry, USA Today. Dale, at what point late in the race did you have to give up saving fuel with Brad coming and go full for it?
When they told me I was watching where I ran 2 real hard laps right after that restart, and we got about a 20-car length lead, and I just started lifting real early into both corners and seeing whether they were going to catch me. And I was probably better off lifting anyways because I was badly overdriving the car, and so we probably weren't even losing any lap time, because maybe even running better lap times. And so I was really being cautious and lifting pretty early. And then when I saw Brad pass the 99, I knew Brad in clean air would be quicker than us. Potentially, he had been all day. And I just continued to save and hope that once he got behind me and got into dirty air, I could keep him there. And he drove. I continued to save until he got within about 8 car lengths, and then I started running hard. And we were fast enough to keep him behind us. I mean, as soon as I got to the top of 1 and 2 the last several laps, I was real comfortable that he wasn't going to get to me. Felt fine about, if we had enough gas, we weren't going to have a problem. But we didn't have enough gas.
Go to Lee right here.
Lee Spencer, forgive me if this was already asked because I was walking down, but I can remember when you ran out at Pocono, and it took a while for you to get that confidence back. But with Stevie, with this being his last year, is this a go for broke kind of year? And I mean, if it wasn't already, with the win in the pocket, is it kind of what do we have to lose?
Yeah, sure. When I ran out of gas at Pocono with Tony Jr., crew chief, in 08 when we was driving for Rick, and we were supposed to be fine to the end of the race, and then we ran out with like 2 laps to go, and I came in, took my helmet off, and bashed the fender on the car, and just made a real ass of myself, and learned a lot from that experience. It took a lot. My team was disappointed in my actions, and my cousin was disappointed in my actions and the way I was, and so when we ran out, when we run out of gas now, you got to try to be positive. Not really, because those kind of things, when you crash, wreck, blow up, those kind of things, there's an opportunity there for it to be worse, and you make it worse than it is, or for you to try to clean up the mess and carry on, and throwing a tantrum and getting upset and getting mad about it don't do any good for your team. They don't feed off of that. If anything, it brings your team down. So But we were able to, the gamble, didn't pay off ultimately, but we were able to run in the top 5. We weren't going to do that. And with the strategy we were on and everybody else was on. So it was a good strategy and gave us a chance to win. And we definitely wouldn't have took that gamble had we not had the new point system. So we were able to take advantage of that. Steve's already, going for broke, and he's having a fun time, and it hurts to lose like that. We definitely love to be in victory lane right now, but our time will come. We keep going.
Other questions for Dale? Right here. That man from Albuquerque.
Hey, Albuquerque.
Dale, hey, thank you guys. David Swope from the Mexico Motorsports Report on ESPN Radio 101.7, the team. You mentioned Steve Letard and this kind of moving on to the broadcast next year. Is there any thoughts as to who might be up for that position yet, or is it just way too early?
It's way too early. Well, I promise you, and I'm telling you all the truth, there's been no discussion as far as I know. And I wouldn't think if there is any discussion, I would be involved in it even if it was light discussion in the shop. There's been none at all yet about it. We got a lot of time, and I think that it's best not to jump to a conclusion early. And Steve's a great part of that process. Let him sort of watch the year unfold and see how the team is and understand what his opinion is on who would be best for that role, and allow Chad to do the same thing. Everybody's busy getting the season going, and I don't want that to be a distraction. We can be patient, and I promise you that there have been no even initial discussion at all, really. So you can't, unless you're really ready to make the decision, it's almost best not to even discuss it, because you don't want rumors to start floating around in the shop and people start getting the wrong messages and stuff like that. When we're ready to make the decision, we'll sit down and we'll make it, and it'll be clear.
Any other questions for Dale? Dale, heck of a show you put on there today.
It's all right.
Safe trip back.
Y'all take a safe trip home.
We'll see you at
We'll
Bristol.
see you.
Thanks, Dale.